Hello and welcome. My name is Bry'Anne, and this is the first in a series of classes that focus on inversions. So there's a lot of moving pieces when we're trying to get upside down, but it all starts with our core. So that's going to be the focus of this class today. So join me on your mat. We're going to start on our backs. Want to be kind of in the center here, knees up toward the ceiling. And then notice what's happening in your low back here. If you have this big arch, no contact with the floor, I want you to tuck your tailbone under and press that low back flat, okay? Hands can be down by your sides or out like a T, whatever is comfortable for you. Then we're going to lift our feet away from our mat. Bring your knees in to touch one another or toward one another, heels out towards the long sides of your mat, and switch. Heels come in, knees come out. And then bring your knees in and your heels in, knees in, heels in to stay. Bring those arms on the inside of your legs. Pull your heels in close and then reach for the blade edges of your feet. If you can't reach those, guys, just reach for your ankles, your pants, whatever you can hold on to. And you've got options here. You have a few minutes to feel this out. This is a reclined butterfly pose. Maybe you rock side to side. Maybe you just find a little wiggle through your hips. Perhaps you stay still, roll your shoulders down, draw your shoulder blades to the floor, finding length through the crown of your head and pulling those heels in closer with every breath out. How you want to approach it is up to you. And then keeping hold of those feet, we're going to turn our soles up towards the ceiling for a happy baby. Same thing here. If you want to find little rocks side to side, have some fun with it, feel free to do so. Maybe you bend one leg, straighten the other. Or maybe you stay right in the middle, drawing your shoulder blades down to the floor, knees coming in toward your side body, fingertips pressing into the bottoms of the feet, pressing that low back flat to the floor the entire time. So take another moment or two. And then let's bend both of our knees. Soles of the feet come back toward one another. Palms reach up toward the ceiling, okay? Chin comes in toward our chest. We're gonna press our palms up. So we're lifting our shoulder blades up off the floor. Little lower down, keep your chin in and press up. Let's lower down and press up. Keep that navel point drawing in towards your spine and down towards the floor and press up once more. Wonderful. We're gonna press up and hold here. See if you can bring your knees in to touch your triceps, back of your arms. Nice. Hold it right there and pulse your palms up towards the ceiling a little more. You're gonna hear me. I'm shaking. This is work, okay? Pull those knees in, pulse it up. Little release, pull it in, pulse it up. And once more, pull it in. This time, squeeze the insides of your knees against your arms as you press your palms up towards the ceiling. Make sure you can still breathe. And release. Let the soles of your feet come back down onto your mat and let your knees come over to one side and over to the opposite side. And once more, side to side. Let your knees find themselves toward the ceiling in the middle. Arms are going to reach out overhead. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, we're rolling up like a piece of tape. So chin comes in toward our chest, fingertips leading the way as we rise up. Let's lower down one piece at a time, creating this nice C curve in our back. Arms can extend overhead with your breath in and breath out. Chin comes in, piece by piece, rolling back up to our seat. And last one, bring it down, reach it up, and bring it up, reach out ahead. And this time as you sit back, stop when your arms are parallel to your knees. Roll your shoulders down and back and find some length through the crown of your head. So rather than being so round, find that nice flat back here. I'm going to bring my toes to touch out in front of me and then extend one leg and the opposite leg. And now switch. First leg once again and second leg. Now you can keep alternating legs, or if you're feeling ready, both legs. Toes down, both toes reach, and down and reach. You can keep going with this or keep your legs extended, lower it down and bring it back up. Lower down, long boat, and in, and down, and in. Let your toes come back down to the floor, and then bring your left heel in close to your sits bone. So normally we have our heel right in front of our bone here. I'm going to take a wider stance because we're going to use this as a transition eventually. My right hand's out to the side, and my left hand's going to reach out in front of me. You can round through your back, take a little stretch, maybe even grab hold of those toes, look over that right shoulder, look over your left shoulder, maybe open your left knee to the side, and come back through center. So we're going to keep working with the core here. Press down into your left foot, press down into your right hand. Keep your shoulder rolled down and back, and lift your right leg up off the floor. Maybe tap your toe, and then set it back down. If you need to reconfigure where your hand is, move it around. Let's give it a lift up and a lower down. And once again, press into every fingertip in that right hand. Lift it up and lower, and lift and lower. This time when you lift it up, I want you to bend this right knee, send your right leg back behind you, keep that right knee up, bring your hands toward the front of your mat. I want a wider stance, so I'm going to heel toe my left foot out to the side ever so slightly, and I'm in a runner's lunge. So I want you to think about pressing the inside of your knee against the outside of your arm. Roll your shoulders back, bring your gaze a few inches out in front. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, straighten through that left leg. Maybe draw your toes toward your face. So I'm lifting them up. Inhale, bend that knee, bring your gaze forward. And exhale, let's straighten. Maybe come up on those fingertips. And once again, bend and straighten. This time we're going to bend. Toes are out at about 45 degrees in direction of the top corner of your mat. I'm going to shift my weight forward and step up to the outside of my right hand with my right foot. Let's sit our hips down in our Malasana, yogi squat. If your heels come up, that's okay. If you don't come so low, that's okay as well. You can feel this out a little bit. Maybe shifting your weight side to side. Looking side to side, just playing with it, seeing what happens when we have our weight on the insides or the outsides of our feet. And then we'll meet right in the center. So we ideally want those heels down. If they're not, lift up until they are. Roll your shoulders back, look out in front of you. And then you can use your elbows on the insides of those knees, press against and press against. So in and out with our knees and our elbows. Let's take a breath in here. And on your breath out, hands come down to the floor. Spin your heels in line with your toes and straighten through your legs. Wide leg forward fold at the top of our mat. Take a little rock side to side. And then tense up on those fingertips. Roll onto the balls of your feet. Lift your heels up high. Turn them in towards one another and then rock back onto your heels. Toes come in, forward, heels come in. Back, toes come in until our big toes are touching. Little space between our heels. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Let's inhale, put a bend through our knees. Roll all the way up to standing. Shoulders roll back. Head is the last thing to come up. Arms circle over. Exhale, cactus. Broaden through that chest. Follow that circle with your arms around as you bend through your knees. Bringing those arms out in front, letting your heels come up. Hands come in toward heart center for a little toe stand. Wonderful. This time our left hand's going to come down off the long side of our mat, and then I'm going to send my left leg out in front. I'm going to widen my stance with this right foot out to the side, so it's kind of diagonal to my sits bone, and we're set up on the opposite side. So my right arm's gonna extend out in front. Maybe I'll take a little stretch first, reach for my toes, play with my gaze, play with the position of this leg. Just feel it out. Now we're gonna add in that strength component. So root down with your right foot, root down with that left hand. Keep your reach and lift. Maybe tap those left toes. Let's lower down, press down into every fingertip on that left hand as you lift up and lower down. And again, let's give it a lift and a lower. And this time, lift it up, bend the knee, send the leg through, hands plant at the front of your mat, and make sure that your foot has room to be on the outside of your right arm. We're pressing in against the outside of our right tricep there. Bring our gaze out in front, a few inches forward from our mat. Take your breath in. And with your breath out, straighten through the leg. Maybe draw those toes toward your face. Let's inhale, bend, look, and exhale, straighten, hips go back. And one more time, inhale, and exhale. Next, inhale, bend the leg, shift your weight forward, step outside of the left hand, sit your hips down, Malasana. Maybe you're a little deeper this time. Maybe those heels are a bit closer to the ground. We're gonna play a little bit here. So my hands are going to come out in front. I'm gonna keep the insides of my thighs against my forearms. I need to really grip the floor. So weight in my fingertips as I shift forward. This might be where I stay and then come back. I'm going to give you lots of options. So we can shift forward, you can stay right here and come back and find that shift and come back. If you want to take this deeper, I'm going to let the crown of my head come down to the floor. I've got to walk my toes back a little bit and then I can lift and float them. So this is kind of like a frog on my head for support. If that bothers your neck, if you have problems with the upper part of your back, don't do that. If you want to try it out though, feel free. Hands down, you might need to walk back. You've got to really press down into the floor first. Crown of the head down, float the toes, and then come out with control. If all else fails, somersault forward. That is fine. So take another moment or two, trying out whatever you're trying out in your practice today. And then we'll come back into our Malasana, yogi squat. Strong breath in, gaze out in front. And exhale, hands come down, heels in line with the toes. Find a forward fold, little rock side to side. And then heel toe your feet back in to the middle, big toes touching. Folding forward, bending through our knees as we roll up, arms circle overhead. Exhale, cactus through those arms. This time, keep your chest proud, hands interlace behind your back. Roll your shoulders down, knuckles down toward the ground. Press your chest forward and then pull your thumbs away from your pelvis. Let's take that breath in. And as you exhale, bring them over to the left side. Let's turn our gaze down to the floor. Let's inhale, come back through center. Give those shoulders a good roll back and down once more. And knuckles over to the right. Gaze down toward your left foot. And bring it back through center. Release those hands. Big circle over. And exhale, take a dive back into your forward fold. So if you can here, fingertips to the ground, and then put the tops of your hands on the floor. We're gonna rock back onto our heels and slide one hand underneath the soles of our feet, and then the opposite hand, getting those toes into our wrist creases. Two ways you can approach this here. You can tuck your chin in toward your chest and think about lifting the middle part of your back up toward the ceiling. That can feel really good for some of us. Or you can think about drawing your belly close to your thighs, really rooting down through those heels and pressing into the balls of our feet. That's gonna give more of a stretch in those hamstrings. So whatever you need to do. Maybe you alternate, maybe you do a little bit of both, but let the crown of your head hang down towards the floor, and we're creating our own traction in our body by pushing and pulling in opposing directions. Make sure you're listening to the feedback that your system's giving you. Nothing should be painful. Sensation is good, but if something's sharp, shooting, painful, otherwise concerning, back off. Back it off. As you're feeling ready, slide those hands out from underneath your feet, coming back into your forward fold. Bend through those knees, roll up, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale and cactus, follow your circle through as you come into your toe stand, hands heart center. And then we're sending our right hand down, right hand out in front. We're gonna flow through this nice and quick. So press down, lift up, give the toe a tap, lower down, this time press down and lift up, bend through the knee, send the leg back, hands come to the front. If you need to heel toe out, heel toe out. Take a breath in, look out in front, and with your breath out, straighten, draw the toes back. Breath in, bend, shift, and step forward. Malasana. Breath in, look out in front. And then option for your floating frog, hands down, shift, head to the ground, toes come together. Lower it back down, heel spin in line with your toes, forward fold. Heel toe in. And inhale, roll up to standing, arms rise. Exhale, cactus, follow through with your circle, coming into your toe stand. And then lowering your left hand, left leg out in front. Get that right foot solidly planted. Find your reach, press down, lift it up, and lower. This time we're gonna lift it up and step it through behind. Plant those hands toward the front of your mat. Take a breath in, look out in front, and breath out, straighten. Breath in, bend, step forward. Malasana, find your squat, option to stay or float. Hands forward, shift, crown of the head down, toes lift. Lower down, coming back through your squat. Heels spin in line with toes as we straighten, wide leg forward fold, heel toe feet together. Inhale, rise, circle overhead, cactus, follow through, come through your toe stand one more time each side. Right hand down, right leg extends. Press down, lift it up. Lower, press, lift, and step through. Heel toe out if you need to. Breath in, look forward. Breath out, straighten. Breath in, bend, shift. Malasana. Option for your float. Hands, crown, toes. Come back into your squat. Heels in line with toes, wide leg forward fold. Heel toe feet in toward one another. Rise up. Circle over, cactus, and bend, coming back into your toe stand. Left hand down, left leg extends. Tap the toe and lower. Press down, step behind for your lunge. Straighten, draw the toes back, bend, and step up. Squat down. Option for float. And lower, heels in line with toes, wide leg. Heel toe feet in. And rise. Cactus through those arms. Follow through with your circle, coming through your toe stand. This time we're gonna stay here for a second, just a moment. Sit it up tall. Maybe bring your thighs more parallel with the floor. Maybe get a little lift through your sits bones, really active. And then see if you can open your knees, heels coming together. We're still lifting up, driving energy from the balls of our feet up through the crown of our head. Take one more breath in. And as you exhale, we're gonna sit down into a butterfly. So I'm gonna counterbalance. shifting my arms out in front, sending my hips back, and as controlled as I can, more or less, sitting my hips back down. You can draw these heels in close or keep them far away. Maybe hands come around those blade edges of your feet, or they can peel your feet open like a book, or they can thread in that little V shape that you've made with your legs, pulling the crown of your head closer to your feet. Also more than welcome to move around here. And come back through center, close your knees, and that's going to wrap it up for us today. So if you'd like to take a final resting position, a shavasana, lying on your side, lying on your stomach, you're more than welcome to take a few moments and hang out there. If there's more movement, you want to keep going, you want to follow along with the flow again, also feel free to do so. Make your practice your own. So as always, thank you for practicing with me today. If you have any questions, any comments, I'd love to hear from you. So leave me a message down below, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.